بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف خلق الله أجمعين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Hello everyone. I would like to talk in the next minutes about the ethics of publication and researchers' right when they conduct a project. My name is Ilhami Turabi. First, the difference between those different concepts, moral, ethics, and law. Moral sometimes, and those different concepts uh, they are sometimes interchangeably used when we speak generally, but in a context of ethics and bioethics, we have to discriminate between those three concepts. Moral, sometimes, usually we name it for the uh, personal and individual judgment and the internal attitude toward what is right and what is wrong. Uh, in contrast with ethics, ethics is a social judgment, um, and we call it the external decision. Um, while the law, it's um, we decide what is right and what is wrong, and if somebody disobey or did something wrong, there is certain body who can punish the person. And also, when we talk about ethics, we talk about the moral philosophy, which concern with what is right and what is wrong, and what ought to be right and what ought to be wrong. Okay, so let's directly dive to our topic, which is the publication. And when we talk about the publication, we talk about the authorship and the International Committee of Medical Journals editors recommendation for the authorship. They put four main criteria that everyone who want to be author they should fulfill it. The first one is some substantial contribution to the concept or design of the work, or the acquisition, analysis, interpretation of the data for work. This is the first thing. You have two options in the first criterion is to do one of those two parts. And plus, drafting the work or revising it critically for important intellectual content. So the important keyword here, the intellectual content or the intellectual contribution through revising and drafting the work. And in addition to that, you have to do the final approval of the version that is going to be published, which is the manuscript. And then you have to agree that you will be accountable for all of the aspects of the work in ensuring that questions related to the accuracy or integrity of any part of the work are appropriately investigated and resolved. What do we mean by that? We mean that if anything appear in the work, and you will be held accountable, you will be responsible about this work, even if this work include more than 10 people, you will be accountable and you will be responsible about if there is any problems in this paper. Okay, so every researcher who is trying to publish his work and who is trying to build a team, he should put those four criteria in his mind, and he has to operationalize those criteria to be able to put a roadmap for every member of his team to know their contribution in the research. This is a stacked chart part showing the. This is from a paper that is published in 2017. It shows the share of authors performing particular contribution. Those are the positions of the authors. For example, this paper contain six authors, starting from the first one till the sixth one or the last one. And on the y-axis, it shows the share of performing the contribution. What type of contribution the author is giving or providing. Okay, those are color coded, and you can see the descriptions. For example, conceived, performed, materials accomplished, analyzed, and he wrote some documents, for example, manuscript and other stuff. And we can see here the first author has the highest level of contribution in the work. This is very important thing. If you want to be the first author, you have to be the highest person that who contributed to the work. And very interestingly, you can see the second in the second place, it comes in the second place, the last person, which is sometimes weird for the young investigators or for some people. Uh, they 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 may see if their names appear at the bottom of the list, it would be not good. But surprisingly, this position, the last position, it is for the supervisor, which is sometimes it come in the second place to the first author, or even sometimes in some institutions they put the assessment for the supervisor the same as the first author. Okay, and then the subsequent authors, you can see that they are decreasing in their roles. So um, the more you give in research, the uh, the the level, the highest level that you will get in the publication or the author list. Okay. Um, what effects can misconduct have if we are breaching those criteria? What could happen? Actually, there are different effects according to different populations. For example, in research community, there will be loss of trust in journal and research, and damage to careers, including those innocent collaborators and colleagues, damage to the institutions' reputations, corruption of evidence-based, and even waste of time, resources, and a lot of things. Okay. Uh, for the research participants, unethical research may directly harm the research participants, and this is a red line. Nobody is going to cross this line. Okay. For the general public, uh, the most important and precious thing the people or the researchers they have to pay attention to, the practice and policy may be based on fraudulent research even, and those this policy is going to be applied at the public level, and it's going to be a disaster. Also, the future research and funding may be misdirected because you are building the new research or the future research are built upon the foundation of the previous one. Okay, and even you will lose the trust of the general public, and this is also a not good thing. Who might commit the misconduct? Authors and researchers can commit um, misconduct, for example, unethical research, fabrication, falsification, plagiarism, and I have explained those concepts previously, uh, including the image manipulation, selective reporting, redundant publication. Sometimes they call it in literature salami publication, and the gift and authorship, and also undeclared conflict of interest. For the publishers, plagiarism also could be committed, undeclared conflict of interest, breaching of the confidentiality, intentional delays of some manuscripts for their own purposes, okay, and also the editors, the bias in selection. Maybe you will be, if you are editor, you will select a friend manuscript instead of accepting others manuscripts, okay. Breaching the confidentiality, sometimes some editors would distribute or breach the confidentiality of the documents that they are submitted to them for editing, and also for the reviewers. They can commit plagiarism, also conflict of interest, and declared with breaching the confidentiality and intentional delays. Also, funders can commit misconduct in research, suppressing inconvenient results, for example, because the funders usually they are companies, okay, and if the company would definitely would seek uh, for their products to be positively impacting the certain problem. So sometimes they could commit misconduct by suppressing inconvenient or negative results, and delaying the publications, not giving the author access to the data, for example, and attempting to bias the presentation of findings, not disclosing their involvement properly. And those are the important things. If we allow the funders to manipulate and to control the process of research, the research will be commercialized, and a lot of bad things would happen. So I will show you now some of the figures that I have brought from the literature. I'm going to talk about the prevalence of research misconduct. I know it is hard to estimate the prevalence of misconduct because very simply, it's a very sensitive topic, and if you ask somebody, did you commit misconduct, he will not confess. So, uh, this researcher, Daniel, has tried to answer this question by doing a systematic review of the published studies. He selected 3,207 papers, published papers, and he estimated the percentage of researchers um, you think admitted the publication misconduct. Um, Actually, the results show that 2% of the researchers admitted that they committed misconduct, and and even you could predict and you could project that this 2% would be more. You have to multiply into in a factor of 2, 3, 4. Sometime in certain environments you could multiply in 5. However, 14% were aware of misconduct by others. And this tells you, if you looked here, this is 2%, and 14% of the researchers, they admitted that they saw others committing misconduct. Okay, so how often the misconduct is detected? There are a lot of sources. For example, from the PubMed retractions, when they retract the paper from the journal after publication, And from all U.S. Office of Research Integrity, point 0 to 0.001% of the papers, and also image manipulation in Journal of Cell Biology was 1%. Um, and for the FDA administration audit, they estimated 2% of publication misconduct. So, how can journals discourage and prevent the misconduct and try to promote sound conduct of research? By, by the authors, journals can discourage and prevent misconduct on the part of the authors by providing information, raising awareness, listing authors' contribution. They can ensure a requirement for conflict of interest disclosure, appropriate approval and standard for research and adherence to reporting guidelines. They can encourage post-publication debate and provide guidance on authorship, and they can screen for plagiarism and redundancy and image manipulation. Those are the very important things. Also, um, and in terms of reviewing the manuscripts by the reviewers, journals can discourage and prevent misconduct as part of the reviewers by requiring conflict of interest disclosure and explaining expectations regarding the confidentiality. For the editors, uh, they can have processes for handling editors and editorial boards, members, conflict of interest, and publishing conflict of interest for all decision-making editors. Okay, so let us talk a little bit and dive a little bit in the publication ethics. I will give you a scenario and I want you to think about it. Ahmed has made a presentation at a conference his paper was published in the conference proceeding, and he now want to republish the same paper in a journal. What do you think the right thing he would do? First one, he may republish the paper in a journal, and because he is, after all, the author of the paper, and he is not stealing anyone else work. This is his work, and he want to republish it. The second option, he can use the conference paper as a foundation for the new paper meant for the journal. The third one, under no count should he reuse anything from the conference paper ever again because it was published. So let me give you some information and give you the chance to decide by yourself which the best or the appropriate option for Ahmed to take. The first thing is to submitting the paper to more than one journal at a time is wrong. Republishing conference papers is wrong. Also, duplicate and redundant publication, and sometimes we call it salami publication when your work you divide it into small pieces and try to publish those pieces in separate papers with publication in those parts. Salami publication, I think it is the same concept for publications and authorship and acknowledgement and conflict of interest. Okay, so what do you think about this one? Okay, I know that some of you will choose the first one, and some of you will choose the third one. And I hope that you picked the second one. You are not allowed to republish the same paper in a journal. You are not allowed to do that. This is wrong because your paper has been published in a conference proceeding and it is published in the web. Sometimes we have conferences that is not published, so we have a special considerations for that. But you can use your paper as a foundation because in many times um, your paper that you are presenting in the conference would be immature or premature work that you are presenting to the people. So after you finish your work, you can make use of the conference paper as a foundation to write and to complete your work and to be able to publish it in a journal. So let me talk about a little bit about the researcher rights. Um, First, they have to be given the order of their position in the list of authors, and also if they tell anything about the other's misconduct as a whistleblower, they have to be protected. And the third one, the mentoring of the researchers to be more aware and more professional with on how to deal with the those kind of issues. And concerning this, the last one, the mentoring, I would like to show this little bit diagram. The mentor should be respectful, supportive, available, prepared, and honest. And unfortunately, we have a lot of things. We have a lot of mentors and we have a lot of supervisors who do not provide support. They do not have any time for the students and for the researchers. So in order to find a very good mentor and a very good supervisor, you have to pick him based on different things, not just his scientific position and level. Uh, there is another concept that I would like to mention. It is the research integrity, which refers to high quality and robust practice across the full research process, from formulating, planning, implementation, and dissemination of the findings. Who is going to take actions against the research misconduct? Simply, very simply, anyone can take action against it, um, but there are certain bodies that are meant to do more work. First one is the REC and IRBs, Research Ethical Committees and Institutional Review Boards. Also, researcher institute should take steps to tell and to judge about the research misconduct. And also, there is recently a dedicated body, which is sometimes we call it Office of Research Integrity, which is dedicated for those kind of issues of publication and authorship misconduct. Okay. Also, journals they could play a very important a role because they are the platform where your research is going to be published and where your research is going to stand on the stage for anyone to look at. Okay, we have efforts here in Sudan, the University of Khartoum for research integrity. This office has been launched as an initiative for research integrity at the university, and we um formulated the code of ethics for research practices, uh, which is to protect the rights of researchers and to investigate for research misconduct. Actions against the actions that has been suggested against the misconduct is the paper rejection and retraction, and researchers is going to be penalized by warning, redoing project again, cancel promotion if he got a promotion um, because of the publication of concern, and to cancel, even cancel his degree or her degree. And the the worst one and the harsh one is to dismiss the person from the institute. If you want to know more about uh, the issue of uh, the publication ethics, I would recommend to go to those kind of sources. They are very precious and very important, and you can visit them and you can write the most updated guidelines. And I would like to give you a little bit about the this guideline. This is statement authorship from the International Committee of Medical Journals Editors. It was published in January 2020. Um, they are showing here the criteria that we have to talk about for the publication to be eligible to be author, and they put the template for determining the authorship level on the document. They put different criteria and the individual's contribution in terms of practice in a practical one, and here you can put the grade or the number if they you have to tick it. Okay, and this is a contract regarding the publication intent. It mentions here, we hereby enter an agreement as outlined below regarding the publication of the project tentatively titled as blah blah blah, and the authors they should agree on the terms of the ICMGE, and those are the authors list with their roles and with their signatures. So if there is any problems happen in the future, they could bring this document as a proof for their allegations. Okay, and those are the different sources that you can refer to. So thank you so much for listening to this presentation, and I hope that you have learned something new today.